Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a follow-on from last week's video on the sunscreen that is a must-have for everybody. It's a premium beauty balm and I can't recommend it enough. So if you guys want a no makeup look, then you need to try this beauty balm. It's fantastic. It gives you such an even finish to your skin, super lightweight, has the SPF 50 in it, but it also covers redness, imperfections, much more than any beauty balm I've tried before now. It's not quite as heavy as a CC cream, but it is just enough to make you feel that much more perfected, but still super natural. I love it. So that's the base that I have on now. I have 2 lots of sunscreen on, and this is the finish that it's given. So I've just done my eyebrows off screen, which you guys know I have a tutorial on how to do. I've shared it a million times. I will link it on screen for you now. And I'm going to move on to this no makeup look. I'm now going to go in with the Clinique Even Better Concealer. I love this. I've used it for years. It's one of my favorites. It gives you the coverage, but it's so lightweight. So the shade I have is CN28 Ivory. I'm just going to pop this on my cheeks for a little bit of extra coverage here where I get a little bit red. And I'm going to pop a little bit on my eyelids because those areas are thinner, and even with the beauty balm on, they do look a little bit redder. And I'll pop a little bit just here and here. So it's in lots of areas, but it's still only a very light amount. So we're going to just buff that in with a brush. This one is by bareMinerals. It's the Shape Diffuse Eye Brush. It's actually like a small duo fibre brush, so I really love it for buffing in concealer. So we've got the beauty balm on, so we barely need any coverage elsewhere. I like to use what's left on it around my eyes so there's not too much product there, because that's a giveaway that you're wearing makeup when it's heavy around your eyes. Concealer always tends to make the eye area look quite crepey, so you want minimal amount. Obviously if you have quite dark circles, use a colour corrector, layer a little bit of concealer over the top. Tilbury does a really nice one called Vanish, I think it is. There's 2 shades. I used it on my friend for her wedding because she has quite dark circles. It's one of her main concerns. I used it for her. She's like a medium, and we still use the fair shade on her. So even if you're quite medium, the light fair shade will still be suitable. And remember, it's a colour corrector, so you're gonna layer a product over it. Don't think of that as the main concealer, because it's not. It's to colour correct, and then you'll put a foundation or concealer over the top. The idea is that the colour corrector will neutralise the issue. So if it's pigmentation, it will neutralise the pigmentation. It won't look like you've concealed it. Instead, it will neutralise it. So it will still kind of look a little bit, I want to say ashy, but the peachiness of the colour corrector takes the ashy tone out, but it still doesn't look like it's concealed. The idea is that it neutralises it so that when the concealer goes on, it no longer looks ashy. Does that make sense? I'm going to push that in with my fingers, pop it on over the lids, just press it all in. This is kind of like the key, working it in with the warmth of your fingers. Press that in. Another little area to pop this on is a small amount just here, where there's a tiny bit of redness. Just use your finger. Pat it in, but do it in a lifted finish, so go upwards. Can you hear there's a fly buzzing around? So it's still super natural. No one would realise that you're wearing makeup because the Dr. Jart Beauty Balm is seamless. It's so lightweight. You can still see freckles through it, but it evens out your skin tone. And then the concealer, again, is very lightweight, but it just packs a little bit more pigment. So it gives a little bit more coverage, but it still looks super natural. So you can see the skin still looks like skin, but it feels much more even. It looks much more natural, but yeah, no makeup. You conceal the areas that you need. If you've got blemishes like around your jaw, if you have cystic acne, if you've got melasma like I have, it doesn't bother me too much with the melasma now, especially when it's only around these areas here that come out in the summer, and then in the winter they disappear. But this is where I'd bronze anyway, so go away, stupid fly. it would hide it anyway because I have bronzer on, so it doesn't bother me too much about concealing it. If you need more coverage, then go in with something like the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, because that one really is high in pigment. Then you can go in with a small brush, something like this, or even tinier, and you can spot conceal. So if you've got a blemish, just go in with the real heavy coverage concealer, and then you're not putting it everywhere, but make sure it matches the colours that you've got on your face. Don't go for a lighter shade, otherwise you're going to make the areas that you're trying to conceal look more obvious. So yeah, the only areas that we want to kind of brighten is around the eye area. But I haven't today. I've used the same concealer that matches my face. I feel like that's fine for me. As we have put the concealer on and the Beauty Balm has a little bit of glycerin in it, it means that the skin does have a natural shine to it. But as I'm oily, that's only going to get worse as the day goes on. So I do need to put a little bit of powder on to take down some shine. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury powder. As you can see, hit the pans. I've just ordered a new refill. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a little hole here. Pop something in there. It will push out the pan and you can just replace it. I want to say £4 cheaper than buying the whole thing. I've got my powder puff. This is the Trigwell one. Make sure you wash these every couple of days. There's a really fascinating lady on TikTok and on Instagram, and she swabs everything, and she swabbed these. I wash these anyway because I just don't like it if I've used it for a couple of days and I've not washed it. But she swabbed them, and the amount of bacteria that comes off of them is disgusting. So if you guys are having problematic skin, there's a good chance it could just be down to the fact that you're not cleaning your products enough. I might just do a separate video on cleaning your brushes, sponges, things all in one. I have done individual videos before, but maybe just sanitizing. And you can also sanitize these, because if you're using this on this, you need to sanitize this as well. And there are products that you can use that you can spray onto powders and it won't ruin them, but it will sanitize the surface. I'm going to use that just to take down a little bit of shine through the center. This is a finishing powder, so it doesn't have the strength of a setting powder. The Laura Mercier translucent powder, the Huda Beauty Easy Bake, they're all setting powders. This is a finishing powder, so it gives a bit more of a blurring effect to the skin. It takes down shine, but it's not as secure as a setting powder. But I'm okay with that because I would rather use something like this, which is a little bit lighter in its finish. I like the blurring effect. And I'd rather use that a couple of times throughout the day than to use something that's quite heavy. Don't forget to take that over your eyes. It is warm today. It's 28 degrees. I know there are warmer places, but in the UK, it's always like a muggy heat. It makes you feel like humid and sticky, and what we refer to as, we always say it feels really close today. And I know that might sound random to people. If you're in the UK, you'll understand it. It feels close. So for a no makeup look, freckles for me are kind of like a staple. If I'm creating a look on set for a photo shoot and I want the skin to look like they're not wearing anything, then I'll put in some little freckles if it's like going in on freckles that are already there or making some new ones. I have recently discovered this U-Tan freckle pen. This is actually self-tanning in a pen form. So you would use the tip to create small freckles with fake tan. This is way too thick for me. So I would still go in with my tiny little, if you can see that, my tiny little art brush. You can see the difference between them. I mean, these freckles here are gonna look super fake, whereas these ones would look much more realistic. And although it is a self-tan in there, it doesn't last because it does say you can pop it on top of makeup, but by the time I wash my face with the products I use, there's nothing left by the end of the day. But I really like the longevity of it throughout the day. I like the colour of it. So for me, it's quite a nice new product for creating fake freckles. So it has a little twist, and then I just use my small craft brush to dab onto that, and then I use that for my fake freckles. So I have some little freckles. Not that you will see them, but I tend to just go over the areas that I've got my natural little freckles on my nose. My mum had freckles, they were beautiful. She didn't like them, and my cousin has freckles and she hates them. I love freckles. I think the only downside to freckles, if you are covered and then you want to use foundation, it tends to go a little bit ashy on the skin. Freckles can kind of like be a hindrance if you're a makeup lover that likes full coverage. I have some exfoliating pads that have a chemical exfoliant in them, and that removes these. So for me, they don't last in terms of the self-tan element. But if you're somebody that doesn't use harsh products on the skin, you might find that this lasts for a couple of days on you. If you try it and it works, let me know, because I'd just be interested, because obviously I haven't experienced them lasting. But I do love the finish of them. They're super cute. I always go in with this little brush. This is by Krylon. I've actually had this just over 22 years. When I first started training in makeup, this was a brush that I received in my kit. So yeah, I've had it years, but they still make these brushes, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm using this to press it into the beauty balm and the concealer that we've got on the skin. Even though we've kind of set it with a powder, it will still help to blend them in, and they'll just look super soft and natural. You can see. I'm not going to apply any eyeshadow today. I'm going to curl my lashes and just do mascara for that no makeup look. I want it to be really, really simple. I'm going in with these eyelash curlers. I have filmed a tutorial on these before. They are fantastic. Great for anybody, especially if you have smaller lids, if you have hooded eyes. These are wonderful. You can get them on Amazon. I have linked them in the description bar for you. So the cushion goes at the bottom. You pop them underneath and then you give them a little squeeze. Just be careful not to catch your skin in them. You can also rotate them if you want a more lifted finish. I'm going for a bit of an eyelash shed at the moment, so they're not as full as they were. I love to use this when I'm wearing strip lashes and you want to lift them, but you can't get them in a proper eyelash curler. You can just go along and do them wherever you need to. As I am going for a bit of an eyelash shed, I'm going to use my MAC. This is the False Lash Maximizer. It's a white primer, as you can see. This is going to maximize our natural lashes by coating each individual lash. It slightly dries. Then you go in with your mascara. This will dry clear, it doesn't stay white. And it will lengthen and thicken the appearance of your natural lashes. You can apply a couple of layers of this. I just apply one coat. Make sure it's tapered so you can really get to the inner corner lashes. So use the wand at a different angle to coat your natural lashes. You could even apply a couple of coats on the areas that are thinner. So if for you that's the inner corner or the outer edge, apply a coat, give it maybe like 20 seconds and then go back in with a second. So by the time you've done your second eye, you can then go in with your mascara on your first eye. If you leave it to dry completely, it becomes a bit difficult to coat the back and front of your lashes and not see a little bit of the primer because it becomes too solid. Try not to get Miss Piggy in the way of the camera. I hope to see Arte London do another fun collaboration like this. I love my mirror. And you guys love it as well. I get lots of compliments on Miss Piggy. It was a limited edition set, so you could probably pick one up on eBay if someone's selling it. I'm tempted to get a second one myself. I'd hate it if she broke. This mascara is my Christian Louboutin mascara. So I've definitely got more eyelashes on this eye. So I'm going to have to go and have a second coat on this one. Because this is a no makeup look, I'm not going to apply mascara to my lower eyelashes. So it doesn't look over the top, but it feels like I've got a little something on. I'm going to pop some bronzer on. Today I'm going to use the Benefit Hoola Light. I haven't used this in ages. Usually comes with a little brush, but I've misplaced it. But it doesn't matter because I don't like the brushes anyway. I'm going to use my Zoeva 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek Brush. And I'm going to pop this on the hollows of the cheeks. And rather than contouring, we're going to use it as a bronzer. So high on the hollows of the cheeks, up towards the cheekbone. So anywhere the sun would naturally hit. If you can hear jingling.
Nothing to see.
Thomas has just come home. So pop a little bit of that on your nose. Remember, you don't want it to be too obvious because it's a no makeup look. You could use creams. I'm just using powder today because it's so warm. I don't have to put another layer on because if I put creams on, then I put powders on. I might as well just go straight in with powders and keep it super light. Although I will use a cream blush because I just love the finish of the glow. So this is going around the hairline where the sun would hit. As you can see, it kind of goes over my melasma and just blends it in. Just aids my bronzer finish. So I'm not too concerned about concealing it. So it adds enough of like a bronzy finish, but it's not over the top. Don't forget to also take it down your neck. And over your ears. The postman just knocked and actually delivered these. These are these new mousse blushes by Revolution. There's like a whole collection of them. As I say, they're like a mousse consistency, and I cannot tell you how pigmented they are. This is just the tiniest swatch. Let me show you. One swipe. Look at that. Incredible. Absolutely insane. I am not going to use them today because this is a no makeup look, and I'm worried if I pop this on, it's going to take a lot of blending out. But if you want to try an affordable pigmented blush, they look incredible. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I went to a launch for these blushes here. This is Ate. She is beautiful. She's such a nice person. She's a mum of twins. So we had a nice little chat about twins. For those of you that don't know, I'm a twin. And she's launched these blushes into Harrods. I have 3 of the shades. I think there may be like 4 or 5 shades. So here we've got Love Plum Plum. Then we've got Radiant Rav, and then Watson Watermelon, which is definitely my vibe. I love this. These can be used on the lips, cheeks. Technically, you can't say they can be used on the eyes, but if you want a monochromatic look, just sweep a little bit over your eyelids. They're vegan, they are cruelty-free, they are fantastic if you are of a deeper skin tone. These do not come off ashy at all, and that was kind of what Ate wanted to achieve, something that anybody could use. Everybody feels inclusive, so yeah. So just to give you some information on these have plant oils, aloe vera, cocoa butter, marshmallow extract and jojoba. And it also contains a sustainably sourced squalane. I'm going to use the Watson Watermelon. I'm going to pop a little bit onto, as you can see, my lips. I love that these aren't quite as intense as this, because if you're in a rush, you can pop these in your bag and you know you can pop it on with your fingers and you haven't got to worry about the blending process. These are perfectly pigmented. These are phenomenal, but I don't know how well, like I feel like this would be better for something that's a little bit more intense, like full coverage. I don't know about a no makeup look with those. Very impressive, but this is perfect for whether you're wearing full coverage or no makeup because you can build on these. How lovely is that colour? It's like the perfect tint for your lips. I love it. I will actually just use my fingers because I didn't bring a brush down for my cheeks. So I'm going to pop a little bit of this on the apples and then use my other finger to press that in. I love this. Such a beautiful blush. So these are sold at Harrods. I will link them in the description bar. I don't know yet if they're available in the US, but I will find out, and if they are, I will link them below. You can see these last as well because I can't get it off my finger. I've just washed it, so they will last really well on the skin as well. And that completes my super easy, no makeup look. I hope you've enjoyed it. The skin looks super natural. The eyes are really natural. This would give me the confidence to go out and feel like I'm not wearing anything, but I have kind of disguised any of my insecurities. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you've got any requests for tutorials, also leave those in the comment section. Don't forget, I will list and link all the products I've used, even the recommendations, in the description bar. Come follow me outside of YouTube over on Instagram at Show Me Makeup, and I will see you in a couple of days with another video. Bye guys.